Okay, so Andy, just now what did we talk about? We talk about
Yin Yang.
Yin Yang, and we talk about SuperME, Yin Yang, and Sunzi, right? So how these three complement and can be a very powerful, synergy.
Correct.
That through your wisdom is able to, empower many other people out there.
Correct. So I would like to call this a very simple, short and catchy few words: unstoppable wealth with 3 keys. And I will define wealth not just in monetary terms, but also 11 other areas. So unstoppable, that means when you have these 3 keys, things will just keep on flowing. It's like you got enlightenment, you got awakened. Why these 3 things? Because if you examine further, they are all fundamentally linked. So we first talk about Yijing, because Yijing is like everything. Yijing is nature. So Yijing, one of the key concepts is yin yang. So I will use yin yang. So in Yijing, yin yang, there is the yin and there's the yang. So yin, people will call it as the invisible, the hidden, the soft. Yang is the seen, the heart, and the so-called the leader. However, the difficulty of yin yang lies in they are not the same. They are not always, yin is not always yin, yang is not always yang. Yin and yang must interact. So yin alone or yang alone does not work. Yin and yang must work together. It can be a big portion of yin, a smaller portion of yang, or vice versa. And when they interact, yin and yang interact with each other, they will actually change. So I'll give you an example: software and hardware. Why we say Apple iPhone sells well? It has the hardware, the yang. The software is the iOS system. The software is also the brand, the marketing, and then the color, the design, and the people who use iPhone. These are all the yin factors. And they interact one another. So when this yin is interacting with yang, it also changes yang. Yin can become more yang, yang can become more yin. For example, the software can improve to suit the hardware. And over time, the software may become a hardware. So instead of having a software for the camera, why not have a better lens? So the software will impact the hardware. So the point to make is yin and yang, they are not the same. They will keep on changing. So that's the difficulty of yin yang. And the key is that they must work with each other. When they work with each other, they may counteract, they may complement. That's in all things, right? They will counter and they will also grow.
Yes.
相生相克.
Yes.
So that is the Yijing. And how does it link to Sunzi Bingfa? Sunzi Bingfa is always about strategy, but then the strategy is the yang. What is the yin is the strategy cannot be told. You cannot tell people the strategy. You will tell people something else. Right? So then it can work. For example, you cannot go around telling people, I'm a good man, my strategy is a good person. I mean, people talk about business, don't talk about this. So talk about my strategy is to protect the environment, something like that, right? So Sunzi Bingfa, of course, is from Yijing, because Yijing has been around much longer, 7,000-8,000 years ago, long before language was invented, written language was invented. So Yijing started with all the symbols on it. So Sunzi Bingfa, 2,500 years ago, it came about because there's a need to document the wisdom of military into a book. But understand that Sunzi Bingfa, although it's written by Sunzi, but it's not Sunzi one person. It's actually a compilation of the experiences of his grandfather, his father, and his uncle. Sunzi was only 25, 27 years old. I mean, how he has no war experience. How can he write this book? So he didn't write this book. He actually compiled, because the grandfather and the father, they were so famous in the Qi Guo as the military people, and so his uncle. So basically it's a compilation, because the father wants him to have the so-called the heritage, have the legacies. That's why he wrote the book. And then the father, grandfather, look at it. Of course, they've been around for long. And then Qi Guo in the today's Shandong province there is also the birthplace of many civilizations. So his grandfather, father, they were all influenced by all this Yijing thing. That's why Sunzi can write this book. And how does SuperME come about? SuperME is more like the fundamental. Because if I know Sunzi Bingfa, but I don't see myself as someone capable that I can't use it. I mean, you can learn. Someone can teach you, hold your hand, say, use this strategy of Sunzi Bingfa, know yourself, know your opponent. But how do you know yourself? You know yourself, you do know your shortcomings, your weaknesses. But SuperME say that you must see your super mirror. And in the super mirror, you'll see your true self. And your true self is something always linked to your soul. And all souls are kind. There are no unkind souls. Because the soul is original. The soul is from the baby. No baby is born to be a bad person, right? No such thing in the world. And even talk about products, physical products, when I make a product, I have no intention to make a lousy product. I mean, who would do that? So it doesn't make sense, right? So I will try to make a good product. I mean, it turned out not to be good, that's another thing. So SuperME gives you the fundamental. So what I want to say is that I will put SuperME as the third. I put Yijing as a starting, because Yijing is the reflecting nature, everything. Then straight away, I tell people the strategy. Then they will, oh, at least I know what to do. But fundamentally, I tell them at the end of the day, you must handle this. Why don't I put this at the beginning? If I put the SuperME as the beginning, it becomes very fluffy. And people will say, Andy, this is like a motivational course. This is like a awareness course. But when I put these two together, somehow I raise this value. So SuperME is a very abstract concept. It's not easily for people to straight away grasp it. And at least we can understand the Sunzi Bingfa. So it's put in the middle and not put at the start. Because if I put at the start, then they will not listen to the second and the third, so I have to put in the middle. So this start, I put the Yijing as a start because most people somehow still may not understand Yijing, so there's some curiosity. And then the two, Sunzi Bingfa is quite well known. So the third is, this one is to leave them with something they will never forget. So once they have these three, at the end they remember this the most. And they know that this SuperME is actually everything. So in fact, right now, if you are watching this video, how much can you get from this video? The video is the same. Everybody watches the same video. But you may get different things depending on you. Do you see yourself as a SuperME? Where is your state? If you see yourself as SuperME, you are able to understand from what I'm talking. You will not be looking at my grammar mistakes or say, oh, there's some noise outside in the video. You know, those are called distractions. When people always point out typo errors, noises in videos, lighting, color, you actually realize that their state of mind is not SuperME. Their state of mind is actually small me. And they need to raise themselves by pointing out other people's mistakes. But you think about it, you mean people don't know typo mistake? I don't know when I make the video there's some noise. Of course I know. Then how come I don't remake the video? We don't have so much time to keep on remaking videos, right? How do you know suddenly outside got a noise? I cannot be stopping the whole video, right? You look at movies and TV, they also don't keep on remaking when there's some noise. So when the person always like to point out people's typo mistakes, grammar mistakes, and your shit here, how come there's something dirty? Actually, they are lacking love. People don't recognize them, don't validate them. They need someone to tell them, I'm good. That's why the way to show people they're good is to point out other people's mistakes. And best still is to criticize. It's interesting because when I do talks, let's say there are 20, 30 people, only one person point out the grammar mistake. How come the rest don't mention? You mean the rest don't know English? The rest cannot be, right? So this person is lacking love. So the way to handle this person is to praise the person and say, wow, you are definitely very sharp. And you dare to point out the mistake when the other 20 plus people don't point out. So if you feel good, why not you share with us your point? So I raise him. Because they need love, they need to be SuperME. So you need to have the right state of mind in order to be able to receive. So one way to do is to raise yourself consciously. So tell yourself, I am okay. You don't need someone to raise you, don't need someone to praise you, right? So a pretty lady like Vivian, for example, does not need anyone to praise her. She's good looking, right? Correct, huh, Vivian?
Yes.
But you can praise her in a more specific way. Thereby you add value in the praises. You can say, yeah, looking better and better. Right? So that's different. So that's also coming from a SuperME, because only with SuperME you can raise people, right? Instead of just praising, oh, you're good looking, you're beautiful. That's too general. And then she may think, oh, Andy, you're trying to be funny. That kind of things, right? But as a SuperME, we speak things from our heart, from our soul. So every word is actually what we mean it to be. If you take this as a compliment, very good. If you take it as a flattery, or I'm trying to be funny, then I will encourage you to really go through this book again to raise your SuperME, raise your self-worth, right? Raise your self-worth. Because when a person praises you, actually, it takes a lot of courage for them to praise you. I'm not sure whether people have talked about this before. It's easier to criticize. Because when you praise, so many people will think you're trying to get something out of me, that's why you praise me. Imagine the speaker talking, then you suddenly praise the speaker. Oh, you're very intelligent, you're very wise. People will think, hey, Andy, you're trying to curry favor from the speaker. You praise the boss, people think you're trying to play politics, right? So actually praising is a very difficult thing to do. So when people praise you, you must really acknowledge the courage. Criticizing is easy. Pointing out errors, typo errors, these are very, very easy things to do. It doesn't take a genius to do such things. So next time when somebody praises you, you must thank the person for the courage. And of course you receive the praise. Then what do? Oh, thank you. You must do one thing. Then the cycle is complete. What must you do? Very simple. Somebody praise you, you thank you, you receive it, and you must return the praise. Then the whole cycle is complete. And the person will not be like, I praise you. There's some ulterior motive, so you return, so it balances, right? So that is, I think when you come from a SuperME, you will do this naturally. When you're not coming from SuperME, you find it very difficult to do. So in short, I said praising is actually a difficult thing to do. It looks easy, actually it's difficult. Criticizing, point out errors, find out what's wrong, they are the easiest things to do in the world. So, you want to do the easy things or difficult things? Of course, you do the difficult things, you will stand out. So, praise this video if you can. Like and share with people. Because when you praise, it actually means that you are one level higher. Because it takes a genius to praise a genius. Right? Okay, so that's all. So these 3 keys, right? I have to make a physical key, 3 keys, right? 3 keys to your heart. The 3 keys give you the wealth, and it is unstoppable wealth. UW, unstoppable wealth with 3 keys. That's the message today. Thank you.